Good morning, people. I am doing my morning cardio. It's currently 7 a.m. I just got done with a 50-calorie warm-up on the treadmill. And now I'm gonna try and do my other 200 calories. I'm currently doing 250 calories every time I do cardio right now. And I'm trying to do that 3 times a week for a total of 750 calories. So right now my calorie goal is 750. And so I try to spread that out throughout the week, but I just can't do cardio on days I have legs. For me, that just doesn't work. You know, it's just I get too tired. So I'm so out of breath already. So I got this nasal strip. Freaking been bulking for so long, man. I'm starting to feel heavy. It's wearing down on me. But so I try to do, my 750 calories throughout the week. But if you think about it, if I have 2 leg days throughout the week, and not including rest days, 3 days kind of makes the most sense to spread it out. So the bike is usually my weapon of choice. I like the Stairmaster too, but the one in my apartment complex kind of sucks. So unless I'm at the gym, I don't really do it. But yeah, just the bike is the way to go for me. All right, I'm all showered up now. I just finished my cardio. After I did cardio, I went and did 2 sets of 10 for vacuums. And if you don't know what a vacuum is, that's pretty much when you breathe out all of your air and then you suck in your stomach. So you imagine that you're trying to push your belly button almost to your spine. And the reason that you do this is because when you step on stage for bodybuilding, you have ab control on stage. So when you're completely depleted, you're super tired, your food is super low. You're flexing on stage for a long time. Believe it or not, flexing and holding those poses is super tiring. If you're not a bodybuilder, not aware of this. God, my eyes are still so red. I'm still waking up. But holding those poses on stage for prolonged periods of time can be super tiring. And what you see is a lot of guys that don't come in shape or, knowing what they're doing, they'll lose control of their abs on stage. And, I'm trying to, again, hit all of the check marks. When I step on stage one day, I want to be completely prepared and make sure that I leave no stone left unturned. And one of those is being the vacuums. So it's kind of funny, when I'm in the gym, I think I usually will try to do it also after I do my cardio. That way, I'm also fatigued when I'm doing it. That way it's also kind of representing my fatigue on stage. But I think it's funny because I get off the bike and then I'll go stand against a pole like this and I'll be breathing out all my air and then sucking my stomach in. And I think it's funny because people probably are looking at me he's super tired. He can't even hold himself upright, but I'm actually doing, in my opinion, it's an exercise. So, and then after I did my vacuums, then I went into the gym and then I just did some ab work. For me, my personal favorite exercise for abs is just cable pull downs. So I'll go on my knees, I'll be holding a cable attachment, and then I'm literally doing almost a sit up using its weight. And then I'll usually follow that just by some hanging leg raises, but sometimes I'll just do knees up instead of legs up, and that'll just kind of be my routine, and I'll just do it until failure for 3 sets. And I really want to really hone in on my ab work again, just because I feel it's not like I was eating off plan or eating bad food or anything, but just the amount of food I'm consuming, purely carbs and whatnot, you kind of put on weight and water weight no matter what, even if you're eating healthy. So I feel I've kind of neglected my ab exercises a little bit, and so my midsection has got a little sloppy, so I want to tighten that back up. And I just recently, a couple days ago, had my calories reduced by 300, most of that coming from carbs. So if I really hone in on the cardio, giving it max effort, really hone in on my ab work, and then this drop in calories, I should see my shape really coming back, which I'm excited for. So breakfast for me today, I kind of do the same thing every single day. I just like my routine. I it's funny, people always complain about not being able to have cheat meals or having to follow a diet, but it's I actually kind of like the fact that I'm not worrying every single day what I'm gonna have to make for dinner. It's just I always know exactly how much I'm eating. Maybe I just like a routine. I don't know about you guys. Do about 138, went a little bit over, that's fine. So here's the thing about this food. It doesn't necessarily get to taste better. This food that we're making will only taste so good. And I think it's so funny when people are oh no, like my, that's better. Like, oh no, like my chicken and rice, it's like so good. Like, no, I'm such a good cook. Oh yeah, really? I'm sure your chicken and rice is insane. I'm sure it's way different than the chicken and rice I'm eating. I just think it's people are actually just ridiculous. Like, this food can only taste so good, and it really just gets to the point where it can only taste so good, and you just find different ways of getting it down. So for me, so for breakfast, for example, I have 2 bagels, and for the longest time, I was just eating them like straight up. I would eat them like before the gym. It'd be super dry. I would just drink them eat it with water, just try and shovel it down, right? Because I'm like, okay, quick carbs before the gym. The thing is, now I'm eating so many carbs that, like, I have just carbs in my body throughout the day. It's not like I necessarily need to eat, like, sure, I'll do like my pre like gym meal. Like, I don't need to do my pre-gym meal and then eat bagels like on top of it. So for me, so then I'm like, all right, well, I already have that beef and rice meal before the gym. I'm gonna move those bagels to breakfast. That way it'll be easier to get my eggs down. I'll take the eggs, I'll put them on the bagel sandwich, and then huge. So I was eating them just dry, plain before. My parents gave me their old air fryer, so I'm using the air fryer. I'll turn it on to 400. I'll keep them in there for like 1 to 2 minutes. I don't like my food to get crispy, like never have. It's even weird with like mac and cheese and stuff. Like, I hate if it has like crumbles on it. I'm just really weird like that. I don't like crunchy food. Like, even at like dinner and stuff, like I'll never even touch the bread that's like on the table before the meal starts. It's just not for me. I don't know. Not a huge carb guy, I guess. Actually, that's not true. Just certain carbs. But so, absolute hack that I learned from my bagels. I learned this from Christian Guzman, the owner of Alpha Elite. There is this, I can't believe it's not butter spray. So it's 0 calories. Obviously, it doesn't taste as good as real butter. But you're cutting those calories wherever you can. Actually, that's not true. But you just want to make sure you're consuming the right calories. You don't want your calories to be coming from your 300 calorie Starbucks drink. You don't want it coming from butter. You don't want it coming from these high calorie sauces. Again, so that's why we have things like hot sauce, Diet Coke, 0 calorie butter. Like, sure, it doesn't taste great, but it helps you get it down. Like I've been saying, we don't care about the taste, we care about getting it down. We're eating for a purpose. So I always drink my egg whites. It's kind of crazy to me that like people bitch so much about like the food that they have to consume. Like, honestly, like I just feel like we're lucky to be able to like eat the way we do as a bodybuilder. Like, although bodybuilding is like a super intense and hard sport, it's also a luxury sport at the same time. Like, and one big thing that I've had to come to realize is that, and maybe it's just because of my athletic background, like I'm just willing to do like whatever it takes to just be great. Like, so like doing hard work isn't necessarily considered hard to me, if that makes sense. But one of the biggest things that you need to learn about food, as a bodybuilder, not necessarily just the average person, but as a bodybuilder, is that you're not eating for taste, okay? Like, you are eating for fuel. It's like, people are like, oh, you drink your egg whites, like that's so gross. I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant if it's gross or not. It's like, it has to get in me. So this is just the quickest way to do it. Like, do you think that tasted good? Like, no, but I don't care. I don't give a shit. Is it going to make me jacked? Yes. Okay, I'm going to do it. So the other big thing that I have to get down in the morning is 20 ounces of juice. And believe it or not, juice is actually like one of the most filling things for me that I consume throughout the day. I don't know why that is. It's just, maybe it's the sugar or, the natural sugars. I don't know what it is, but 20 ounces of juice, it honestly fills me up so much. But just to make that fun for myself. So every year on Christmas when we were kids, we would meet up with all of our cousins, and one of like the fun drinks that the kids would do was make this thing called a sunrise. And so a sunrise is pretty much orange juice mixed with cranberry juice. So I just do like half and half of that, and it's actually like one of my favorite things that I consume throughout the day. So one of the other bigger things I try to do every single morning is after breakfast, I like to go for a walk just around my apartment complex. We have like a nice little walking area. There's like a huge lake. It's actually pretty nice. There's often a gator outside too, which is pretty cool. If you're from Michigan, every time you see a gator, it's like seeing a unicorn. So after breakfast, I always we'll go for a walk just to try to get the food in my belly moving. You know, first time you get some, you know, you just want to get things moving around. Great thing, man, you do go and hit the bike, and then you go for a walk, you get your cardio going, man, it just sets the tone for the day. It really does. You know, you start your day off on the right foot. You know, it just kind of sets the tone for the rest of it. So I love doing it, man. That's kind of my morning routine wrapped up.